union appears to be making some progress with the big studios, but there is pushback from members. They're calling for more transparency, more information, more communication during these negotiations.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
Adam, the IATSE has been negotiating with the AMPTP for their Hollywood Basic Agreement, and they have been a little bit more transparent this go around than they were last time. So if you could, Adam, talk to us about the latest on the Hollywood negotiations and why we're getting a little bit more transparency this time.
Sure, yeah. So we're talking about the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE, behind the scenes entertainment industry union. And so remember that last year the actors and writers had to go on strike to get a good deal. And of course, while that strike was happening, that put a lot of IATSE members out of work, especially out in the Hollywood area. So negotiations are happening between IATSE and the big studios, the AMPTP. They have completed several weeks of negotiations on the Hollywood Basic Agreement. According to IATSE, the official press release, some of the bargaining topics they've covered included retirement and health benefits, further exchanges around artificial intelligence, wages and working conditions, subcontracting, and some of the other agreements. IATSE's goals during these negotiations remain enhanced contract language covering safety, subcontracting, and working conditions, guardrails around the deployment of new AI technologies, and updated contract terms that ensure economic stability for members and their families. International President Matthew D. Loeb stated, quote, "We are working towards settling additional bargaining dates to continue to negotiate the deal our members deserve. Talks remain ongoing, and we are focused on achieving the goals we came to the table with: improved wages and safer working conditions, consistent funding for our benefit plans, reasonable AI and subcontracting protections, and appropriate enhancements to our videotape agreement and side letters." The Hollywood Basic Crafts, which includes Teamsters Local 399, IBEW Local 40, and Laborers International Union of North America, LIUNA, Local 724, among others, joined the IATSE Basic Negotiating Committee for the benefits portion of the talks last week. And so they are still working on this big Hollywood Master Agreement. They also have the Area Standards Agreement, and those negotiations just started May 20th. The Basic Agreement negotiations are expected to restart in early June. Both agreements expire July 31st, and they report that the negotiating committees are not interested in an expansion. So it's been interesting to see. There were locals involved with the area standards negotiation penned a joint letter with the International and put that out. There have been, some regular bargaining updates coming out, but this comes amid a petition launched by a new and growing reform caucus within IATSE called CREW, Caucus of Rank-and-File Entertainment Workers, and that was featured in Deadline and some other mainstream media outlets recently. So, the union appears to be making some progress with the big studios, but there is pushback from members. And so members have been circulating a petition urging leadership to agree to updating members regularly with a detailed list of IATSE's local and general proposals, as well as the studio's responses from now until the end of negotiations. So they're calling for more transparency, more information, more communication during these negotiations. And so there does seem to be some discomfort among some rank and file members about how these negotiations are going. And some of that is based on heartburn from the last go-round, where a contract that many consider to be not a good contract was ratified with, my understanding, was minority support. If I recall correctly, it was kind of a loophole. It was approved without broad popular support. And so there's a lot of, apprehension, I would say, among Hollywood IATSE members about this contract and how things are going to go. So they're calling for more transparency, at least from the Reform Caucus. And the petition says, quote, "Without real changes to the negotiations transparency, we are at risk of getting another undemocratically chosen, unpopular contract." So we will see what happens with this. As I mentioned, the basic agreement and the Hollywood area standards agreements, all this stuff expires July 31st. So we will see what happens this summer with IATSE as they negotiate over in Hollywood, and where things shake out with this Reform Caucus. That's been one of the interesting things to watch in the labor movement in the last decade or so, has been the growth of Reform Caucuses in so many unions. We've seen it with the Teamsters for a Democratic Union and with TDU over in the Teamsters, among other Reform Caucuses, Teamsters Mobilize and others. Of course, in UAW, we have the UAWD, which propelled Shawn Fain to the presidency. But there are other reform efforts in the New York Teachers Union, for example, which has not yet gained power there. And so, you know, a lot of these international unions are facing, you know, kind of bottom-up militant upsurges from within their own membership, pushing for more democracy, more militancy, more transparency, more accountability for leadership. So it will be interesting to see where this plays out, but it's something to keep an eye on, because IATSE represents hundreds of thousands of members. Many of them are concentrated out in Hollywood, and the show will not go on without the IATSE stagehands and lighting folks and video folks and audio folks and hair and makeup and wardrobe and just all the different jobs that IATSE members do for the film industry. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. But wishing all of my fellow members of IATSE a successful contract, and appreciate all of those who are pushing for more democracy and more militancy and pushing for a stronger, more vibrant union, because ultimately our strength comes from our membership.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.